Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at my special filming spot location because guess what? I have one special kind of performance SUV for you. It's this thing right here. This is a 2023 Cadillac Escalade-V. But before we get into this all-wheel drive, supercharged powered SUV, let's talk about what's going on here. The Escalade, that pretty much saved Cadillac. It put Cadillac back on the map after years of making some really interesting choices ahead of time, from everything from the Cadillac Alante to the Cadillac Cimarron and everything in between. Now, when the Escalade first came out, it actually wasn't the first full-size luxury SUV. That honor goes to the Lincoln Navigator. And what's really fascinating is that when they came out with an Escalade, it actually was just a GMC Yukon with Cadillac badges on it. But boy, oh boy, have things changed since then. The Cadillac now is really its own unique standout vehicle. And like I said, really has put Cadillac in that key position where many would say they belong. But what I want to find out is there's a lot of competition when it comes to luxury performance SUVs, even big ones. Things like the BMW X7. And of course, you could look at what Mercedes-AMG is doing and Audi with the Q7, or as many would say, an SQ7. So what I want to find out is this the king of those luxury performance SUVs? Let's go ahead, let's dive in and find out. Right off the bat, this color absolutely fits the style of this Cadillac V. Starting at the front of the business, you're going to get full LED lighting. That goes without saying. LED lighting for the headlights. And then, of course, you have that unique setup of an LED daytime running lamp and turn signal. You have some functional corner air curtain. The one zonk is all of this isn't functional. So I wish that they would have made this functional on top of this other side that is functional. On the lower end, you'll notice that you get this little lower splitter extension, angles down. It's actually there for functional downforce. And then as we come across that V series grille, you look at any Cadillac V, you're always going to get this style grille. Nice crisscross gloss black pattern. Of course, you got that Cadillac badge, so much history going back to 1901. And then as we drop down, here's where you'll notice the biggest difference is this lower front fascia. Very aggressive in style, and it's been enlarged to flow more air. We got the V-Motion grille on the bottom portion, just like up top. And then you do have that lip that runs all the way from driver's side to passenger side, and a forward-facing camera, but definitely lets you know something is different with this vehicle. Now, as you rise up, same hood as the other Escalades in the lineup, and that's not a bad thing. Looks great. I think it would have been a cool touch to put maybe a heat extractor, maybe one on each side, just to give it that little bit more aggressive and functional part, because remember, we got a supercharged V8, and that thing generates a lot of heat. When we come around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tire setup. Check out these V series specific wheels. You'll notice that they actually have laser etched. There's the V badge. Nice gunmetal metallic gray multi-spoke finish. 6-piston calipers, jumbo size, and I love the way they match the color of this Escalade. And of course, enlarged brake rotors. Now the adaptive suspension, the MagneRide suspension, has been tuned for a little bit more performance operation. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, what's the size of this 22-inch tire? So it's a 22-inch wheel, 275 on the width, and a 50 series sidewall. Love the way everything's painted around the fender opening. Now, as we come down the side, you're gonna have that massive V badge. So much history with performance in that badge. You do have power folding mirrors, smoked out turn signal lenses, and your 360-degree cameras. Because this is a sporty trim, you are getting gloss black. So gloss black treatment around the window openings, gloss black treatment on that raised roof rail. You get those very classy door handles. This is actually not a handle that you pull. You push a button, it opens up the door. This is LED lighting, and you can see the Cadillac badge. Speaking of opening up the door, when you open up the door, you get those automatic dropping running boards. And what's cool is at night they have all these individual LED lights along the edge of the running board. Like the way it matches nicely with the black trim. Working towards our rear, you do have, of course, another Cadillac badge. You gotta let people know that you are living large in an Escalade. And then coming around the rear of the vehicle, let me show you some of the special touches. First of all, Cadillac does a great job with their lighting. I mean, look at this. This is absolutely sick, the way it extends all the way to that roof spoiler. You come across the back, look at how clean it is. What is it missing? It's not missing anything because the wiper is tucked underneath that long, low roof spoiler. What I like about the rear of the vehicle is you could open up just the glass, which is great. So you could just do that real easily. Or to open up the hatch, you push the badge. So you don't have any other exposed buttons. Of course, we're gonna have the Escalade name, and on the other side, we got another V badge. This is a true V series vehicle. And then working our way down to ground level, you got a GM Performance quad tip exhaust. Wait until you hear this thing start up. I like the way they did the lower bumper area. And of course, this cover comes off. That was fascinating. Of course, the cover, we have a ghost right now that just opened up the back of this vehicle. This cover comes off and you can remove it to tow. Obviously it opened because I have the key fob in my pocket and I put my hand underneath here. So it does have the hands-free operation, but I'm gonna close this because we're not ready to go back there yet. But why don't we go ahead? Where do we need to go? Not the back. We need to go back up to the business end, the front, and check out that LT4 supercharged V8. Let's get to it. All right, guys, we got the hood open. You do have hood struts. Love the V badge on the underside of the hood. And then after Steven shows you that, we're gonna drop down and see the heart of this beast. There it is. That's that LT4 supercharged V8. I love the way they didn't put any crappy plastic all over the place. You can see on the top of the supercharger Cadillac, the V badge, and it's got the badge of the person that built this engine. Remember, they build them by hand at the GM Performance Center at Bowling Green, Kentucky. That's the same place where they have the factory for the almighty Corvette. But what do we have? We have that LT4 V8 that's been bumped up to 682 horsepower out of that 6.2 liter supercharged V8. I have a Camaro ZL11LE that has an LT4, it's 650 horsepower. So we have 32 more horsepower. It's got 653 pound-feet of torque, all mated to a 10-speed automatic. Guess what? With launch control, 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds, quarter mile in 12.4 seconds, MPGs is where it's gonna hurt. 11 in the city, 16 on the highway, and the vehicle weighs 6,000 pounds. So very interesting how they bumped up performance for this special vehicle. And boy, oh boy, to have a full-size SUV that does 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds is pretty mind-blowing. But why don't we fire this up and let her rip? All right, guys, we're inside this 2023 Escalade-V. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, this is one bad mamma jamma. I definitely want to get one of these, but how much is it? MSRP for the way that this one is optioned is right around $149,000. Let's see how it stacks up to the competition. To the door panels. I love the leather, the contrast stitching. I could do without the veneer on the dark wood. I wish they would have just left it a dark wood and not put the veneer, so I am gonna zonk that. You'll notice up top you got heated seats and ventilated seats, 3 stages apiece. On the controls where your window operation is, you'll notice that that isn't just gloss black, it's actually the carbon flash metallic. You do have contrast stitching with some piping in the center. And then the door pocket is nice and large where you could easily get that foot-long Pro-Furred Subway sub sandwich, meatball sub, and you got the AKG premium sound system. There's like over 30 speakers in this freaking thing. Going from the door panel to the dash, same great material. I could just, like I said, no veneer. it causes a lot of glare in here and I don't like it. What I do like is you get 38 inches of OLED screen quality. Of course, your full navigation, you got the same great apps, same great camera quality. I mean, GM does camera quality like freaking unbelievable every which way from Sunday. You got your PDR data recorder system in here, which is pretty cool. When you're gonna turn the hot laps, we need to put a SD card in here. And then right back to where you started all your other readouts. Here's one of my favorite things. You hit the V button and watch this. Now we could adjust. You could actually adjust suspension from sport to touring, engine shifting, all-wheel drive, the engine sound, the whole shabam. I do like the way that is. Working your way down, you got real toggle switches to control your dual climate. This is gonna control your 10-speed automatic, and there's that V button to put it in the full V mode. Gloss black, open up, you got 2 cup holders, USB-A, USB-C. You do have a direct drive control knob if you don't wanna touch the screen. And then look at the leather. The Escalade name, wireless charging. Open it up, you got a freaking nice little cooler box here. So you could cool your Twinkies. Everybody likes a nice cool Twinkie. USB-C, USB-A, and then the seats. AKG speakers built into the headrest. Love the material, the leather, the piping. Full electric assist for the passenger. Full electric assist, of course, for the driver. You got Alcantara and all these speaker freaking grills in here because you got speakers all over the place. I'm surprised I'm not sitting on a speaker. And then to top things off, we got that power shade for the panoramic sunroof. So that's a nice touch as well. But why don't you get your butt over here? I want to show you behind the Super Cruise wheel on this Escalade-V. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have, of course, your memory seat settings. You got your Escalade sill plate that lights up LED. We do have an aluminum brake pedal throttle, but not an aluminum dead pedal, which that's a zonk. I do like all the seat controls, especially when you're going for that lower lumbar and everything. Steering wheel and room is set up perfectly. Steering wheel has the leather. This is for your Super Cruise. Remember, that's hands-free driving. Stitching, heated, of course. You got the V badge. And then you do have metal paddles to go up and down the 10-speed automatic. And then part of the 38 inches is gonna be that digital display with that nice large tachometer in the center. Really, really clear because it is OLED rather than just regular LED. And you got a head-up display in here. But why don't we go ahead, let's get to the mid-row and the third row and see how much you could haul 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds in this Escalade. All right, guys, backseat time, and I'm telling you, your mid-row passengers are gonna be freaking spoiled. First of all, the fact that you could launch them 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds is gonna blow their freaking mind. Second of all, you have your rear seat entertainment, all free connectivity. You don't have to have hard wires, which are great. And you could access, like you see, your YouTube for kids, YouTube. You got your wireless headsets. Nice place to store them. Normally I would like to put a couple snacks there, maybe some cookies or something, but that's a good place to store your headset. And the fact that it's all wireless is great. Plus, I like the fact that you could tilt it down for the shorter people in your lives. And to be honest with you, they said they tested this for 28 days straight and it did not loosen up one bit. So I'm curious to see what would happen in the long run, but it works great here as it is new. You do have a nice little command center. 3 stages of heated seats, but no ventilated seats. That's a zonk for me at 150 grand. But I do like the way they have the AC controls. Open this up, you got your 2 cup holders. And then down below, you got HDMI ports, USB-Cs, and a home power source. I got my own monitor here, which is nice. More of those great speakers. No security shades, which is interesting on a SUV this price. But I do like how comfortable the seats are. And the great news is that they slide and they also recline. I'm exhausted. This is like the 15 car we reviewed today. Armrests are on the cusp. I'm not gonna zonk them because I feel like they're just thick enough. Ford, for whatever reason, Ford and Lincoln does the best armrests. But I love the seats. We're not gonna get into the third row. The reason why is I've done other Escalade reviews. If you wanna see me sit in the third row, watch one of those, but I am gonna move. We're gonna move this out of the way. I'm gonna come all the way over here to make it happen. So this folds down, and then this. All right, I'm gonna get in the third row. I give up. Steven made me do it, and then that rises up like that. So here I am in the third row. Knees are actually not too high, but this seat's gonna have to slide forward. It's tight back here. But pay $20. If you roll up at 20 to whoever's sitting here, I bet you they'll move it for you. You got USB-C connectivity, AC vents, Alcantara, and I like the way they carve out this top section like a freaking pumpkin on Halloween because it gives you plenty of headroom. And they're able to sneak another speaker in there. But why don't we go ahead, let's get in the cargo area because I want to show you this thing move on throttle. All right guys, time to get in the cargo area. Now remember, you could do hands-free if you want, or you could just hit and you have the nice electric assist. You're gonna be greeted to a generous amount of room, even with the third row up. You'll notice on the driver's side, we have that AKG subwoofer, gonna give you that thump-a-thump sound. And then on the passenger side is where you got all your goodies. You got your home power source, you got the ability to fold down the mid-row, and these are to fold down the third row. Now before I fold them down, underneath here, lift that up, you got a little bit of storage. You could at least get 20 1-pound bags of Skittles. You never thought you could just drive around with 20 pounds of Skittles? Like the way it's got the nice Escalade touch on the little protector here, the sill protector. And then to put the seats down, one touch operation, folds down nicely, that 60-40 split. And then you could also see in the third row how you do have USB-Cs, which is nice. That's a nice touch to have that there. And then of course that mid-row folds down. You fold down the mid-row, you're looking at over 90 cubic feet of space. I mean, if you need to sell where you're living to get one of these, just get yourself an inflatable air mattress and you can live in the back of your Escalade-V. But why don't we go ahead? I'm not ready to move into this thing, but I am ready to go on throttle. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get to it in this Escalade. All right, guys, we are inside this 2023 Cadillac Escalade-V. Right away, I just love how this vehicle makes you feel. Having that supercharged V8 power, 682 horses underneath the hood, and then everything's so elegant and tasteful on the interior. You got over 30 inches of screen, and the way that they set it up just makes sense. It's clean, it's got all of the tech that you want, it's easy to get to, and I like the way they give you some options. You don't have to touch the screen to operate it. You could use the direct drive control knob, but obviously hitting that home screen is the best way to go. You got your very quick, responsive swipe features. You got all your different ambient lighting you can set up, the different camera angles, and then of course what I love to do is right in front of that shifter, you hit the V button, and then that's gonna bring up your V mode, and boy oh boy does this thing sing. Dash, same story. The tach, nice and large in the center, all the other information, and then the seats. They're comfortable like a Cadillac, but they're also sporty and supportive. But whether you're driving this Cadillac Escalade-V at slow speeds or at quicker speeds, it is very planted. It's easy to drive. So if you've never been in a full-size SUV, this is your first one, the Escalade overall is just a very easy SUV to drive, and I really appreciate that fact. Of course, you got the beefed up brakes, the retuned MagneRide suspension, and then my favorite thing is launch control. It's real simple. When you're in the V mode, you're just gonna put your left foot on the brake, and then we're gonna pin the throttle, and as soon as this light turns green, we're gonna launch this thing. And guess what? I have a tight right-hand corner coming up once we pass over the intersection that even with this vehicle being as large as it is, it's gonna handle it like nothing but the business. We got Super Cruise for when you're on the highway to have that hands-off driving experience, but watch this. Pin the throttle, you got the launch control, release on throttle. Nice. Just really, really love the way that this just ignites all of your senses, from touch to the smell of the leather and the quality materials, and then of course the hearing of that LT4 supercharged V8. All the pops, all the bangs, nothing artificial. It's all the real deal. But I'm telling you right now, you're gonna appreciate those beefed up Brembo brakes. Helps you shed the speed. You ready? On throttle, here we go. The 10 speed is so freaking responsive. It drops down right away to exactly what gear you need to be in, and then it fires the gears off like a freaking Gatling gun. And then of course you got the metal paddles behind the steering wheel that you could use to go up and down that same 10-speed automatic. But I'm telling you, leaving it in just full auto mode, it knows exactly what to do. Very, very quick, responsive, smart transmission. I think we gotta go on throttle again. Are you ready? Because I'm ready. On throttle, here we go. Love the way that with the Escalade being rear-wheel drive based and biased, it's gonna send power to the front wheels so that you could have that ultimate stick and ultimate grip that you need. You got great visibility in front of you, your head-up display. I got the digital rear view mirror covering my rear end. And then you have usable 3-row seating. I know a lot of mid-size SUVs have these 3 rows and we expect them to do everything. This Escalade is what you need. And boy, oh boy, do you need the V. Now, nobody's behind us. We're gonna launch it in. I love this. It's just so easy. Left foot on the brake, right foot on throttle. You get the da-da-da-da-da-da. Release, yeah! Woo! And then the best news is you get on the brakes, it sheds speed faster than a husky sheds hair. Turning it in, rolling it out, on throttle, here we go. Look at that. Right hand bend here, nice constant radius. It really just allows you to feel confident, composed. If something comes out in front of you in the street, you have the capability to slow down and get out of the way. And then of course on top of that, you do have all the safety features. Lane keep assist, blind spot monitoring. I'm gonna take us out onto the highway because I just wanna show off the Super Cruise feature because it's so easy to use and it's probably one of the best ones out there for that hands-free driving experience. I guess for me, I would like to hear just a little bit more supercharger whine. I know on the exterior, if you hear somebody going on throttle in their Escalade-V, you're gonna get that bit of supercharger whine. I just wish there was a little bit more on the inside, but I get what they're trying to do with this. This isn't a Blackwing. It's not meant to be this crazy over-the-top performance SUV, but there's no hiding that supercharged V8 underneath the hood, especially when you're in V mode. But I tell you, the MagneRide suspension is worth its weight in gold. Fine tuning every nanosecond, exactly what it needs to do. And then of course, you know what's next, right? On throttle, here we go. It's crazy that a vehicle this size accelerates as hard as it does. It's really intense, and that launch control puts you right back in the seat. But I'm gonna go ahead and activate the Super Cruise. You're just gonna hit the silver button on the left-hand side. You get blue, and then once it's green, you're hands-free. And there are tons and tons of roads, highways, byways, intersections, and everything else that are stored in the Super Cruise system to allow you to have that hands-free driving experience. I could tap up if I want to increase my speed, say 60. And here we are. It's weird at first, I have to admit, but it's just very, very efficient, very effective. And then we could you could do your stuff on your touch screen if you need to, make a phone call, have a conversation, changing lanes by itself. And then what it'll do is that if that vehicle in front of us slows down, it will then change lanes to get around it. Let's see if I could speed up here and have it change lanes again. So see, I bumped it up to 70 miles an hour on the cruise control, and there it did change the lane. When the light's green, you're good. When it's red, that means it's shutting off. Blue means it's about to activate. But when it's green, you need to keep your eyes forward. That little sensor is going to tell the system that you are paying attention to what's going on. You're not reading a newspaper. You're not checking your email. You are looking forward. And I do like that about the system. It's very safe. It's very smart. But nice to have this whole package, from luxury to the sport and performance to also the technology. And then to shut it off, it's real simple. You just hit the Super Cruise button again and it disengages. It flashes red, it tells you it's off, and you're good to go. That's all it needs to be. This technology does not need to be where you need a Captain Crunch decoder ring to try to figure out how to use it. It's technology that is at your fingertips, literally, and it's usable technology. Some of this other stuff that they have for cars, it doesn't make sense. It's too complicated. This, though, makes sense, and it's easy to use. And I really, really like that. But on the brakes again, this thing, I'm telling you, slows down so nicely, crisp downshifts. Look at this, round and around and around we go. On throttle, here we go. Love that sound. And even when you're in V mode, the suspension is not that bad. It is a little bit more harsh, of course, than if you're in comfort or something, but it's nice that you can leave it in that V mode, and boy, oh boy, when you get in the car lane, all the parents are gonna be jealous. And your kids are gonna be the champions of the day getting picked up in this beast. But I'm hoping that this has been a good overall review of what this Escalade-V is all about. We're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a nanosecond. All right, guys, been another great day with this supercharged beast, the Cadillac Escalade-V. Definitely want to thank the whole Cadillac team for getting us access to this press-free vehicle. Let me know what you think. Is this the way to go for the price when you're looking for a full-size performance SUV that's luxury-based over the competition? Let me know down in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. I'll come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Radius Rides family. Of course, we need to give it up. Stephen Flood Photography, working that camera like a champ. Show him some love in the comment section. Thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.